All right, guys. I guess that's about the best I can express that topic. Um, how many people who have ever
Lucky,
existed
lucky still right there.
have come to these sorts of
He's hanging out
realizations?
with me tonight.
Very few. Very few. I think that gives us a leg up. Thanks, guys.
He said something interesting at the end, where he said, rewind it a little bit.
just just don't care. But well, here's all these incidents where you didn't learn as much as you could have. So I did enough. I could have learned a little bit more about myself here or there. I could have been a little bit better here. So just just don't care. We've done enough. All right, guys. I guess that's about the best I can explain.
Makes me wonder how many lifetimes we've lived, you know? I presented an idea in our podcast. When me and Kirk we did a podcast, I presented this idea where it was like, so I posited this idea that the world we're living in now, right, the reality, the gears kind of turn. I refer to it as mommy drama. Mommy drama. And the animus and the anima kind of dichotomy, and that's how the world operates, right? And I was saying, perhaps the reality that our higher selves are from operates on a completely different supposition other than the anima/anima dichotomy. The gears have to keep turning, right? So the world operates on this mommy drama, and it has to be that way. Yeah, just something interesting Matt kind of talked about towards the end. That got me thinking, right? He didn't necessarily talk about that specifically. But let's get on with the show.
Hey guys, it's Matt. This is another dearly beloved. We are
Oh,
gathered
the
here
Cracker
today
Barrel.
to get through this thing called life.
I didn't know
To
you
get
talked about
through
this.
This thing called life. This is a return to basics variety show. I'm sorry, old guard. Stick with me for the first few segments to see if I can keep you awake and entertained. If not, you can go clear fields. I've never mentioned this, but again, this is a return to basics for the spitballers and for those in the middle
Jesus.
rows. It says here, this caused chaos. Every bit of these sorts of presentations are put forth and planned out by Not Milk. Is there anybody here that actually believes go woke, go broke, and the public are reacting to what they're trying to slide through? Every bit of this controversy is planned by Not Milk.
Yep.
There's nothing organic going on here. There's no pushback.
It's funny because Kirk and I were just kind of talking about that. Where these incidences are designed to the Cracker Barrel thing, right? But more on a serious note. These ideas are pushed into the forefront, like this, for instance. Where this black guy attacked this Ukrainian refugee, a white girl, in a train, and it might have been a subway, but here you could see it's just something. He's just off his rocker, right? And Kirk personally believes that these incidences don't even happen, that it's somehow meant like a fake incident, fake reality kind of deal, and these stories are just meant to rile people up, right? His own mother. But it's easy to get emotionally wrapped up in these dramas, right? So right here you can see him, he pulls out a little pocket knife, and they don't show it here, but he ends up stabbing her in the throat, like around her artery areas, or whatever it's fucking called. So she ends up bleeding out. That's the aftermath, okay? They skipped over the part where she gets stabbed. She's covered in blood. There's blood all over the floor here. But it's easy to get like riled up, right? And to me, like I explained, well, not explained, but as me and Kirk were discussing, I'm not going to show our chat or anything, but we were both kind of going back and forth, and it's easy to get wrapped up in this drama, right? It's easy to get wrapped up in these stories because they seem so visceral, right? Even though this shit happens essentially on the other side of the fucking country, at least to me, right? Being in Louisiana, Kirk's it's a little more home to him since he's from Jersey. Let's see what I put here. So, I mean, I'm not victim blaming, okay? The stupid fucking term, but this chick, obviously not paying attention to her surroundings. I mean, she's on her phone, for God's sake. And maybe she's become kind of conditioned to just trust anybody, right? And I'm not necessarily saying this because they're black. It could have been anybody, right? But we've been kind of conditioned to just keep our noses in our phone. So we end up having these incidences where we get that 0.00000, you know, that 0.0001% chance that something crazy happens. It ends up being a disaster. It's over. It's not lined up. Let's see. So yeah, that's what I mean. Like, we've been conditioned to like be on our phones all the fucking time, right? And the media loves this kind of stuff. It loves the fact that, you know, little white girls are getting attacked on the train by schizophrenic people, much less, even better if it's a black person. That way they can instigate a race incident, you know, get all the white guys riled up, get all the white people riled up in the country, get all the black people riled up in the country, defending his actions and all that. And it's just a fucking clown show, man. I'm just reading our chat, maybe something I want to mention. So me personally, just to talk about myself real quick, you know, I don't necessarily give into the race thing too much, but we're living in a reality where a lot of people do see color, and their modus operandi is race and color, right? So a lot of blacks are like this, a lot of whites are like this. It's just the reality, okay? So I'm just gonna read what I say verbatim here. All they want is another race war. If I'm going to be honest, whites are more dangerous than blacks. I may not see color necessarily, but I know others do. I know others that do, and I'm living in a world where people see color and only color. And there's truth to how a person is raised and taught morals based on race. Unfortunately, I live in this reality, and what the screen has been feeding the low IQ, the low IQ people for the last 80 years. This goes for all people, okay? I'm talking about both whites and blacks. You know, the kind of whites that, you know, they do get riled up when they see this kind of behavior, and it's very, very ironic that I was a Ukrainian refugee out of all people that ended up getting stabbed in the United States by a black person. It's like, wow, man, like, this shit just writes itself, I guess. So yeah, kind of just a call back to what Matt's talking about. He's not necessarily talking about this in particular, but I think it does apply to this race shit. And I don't know if he's going to be talking about race, but it does remind me of that only because he's kind of going over what the screen presents to us, right? And it's just unfortunate that so many low IQ idiots, you know, fall for this stuff. And it's just the way the reality works, man.
By the people were meant to push back. Look at the broke and the public are reacting to what they're trying to slide through. Every bit of this controversy is planned by Not Milk. There's nothing organic going on here. There is no pushback by the people. The people were meant to push back. Look at the headline. Cracker Barrel quietly removes DEI pride pages from its website after logo upheaval, and the people push back. Oh, we tried to work it in. Oh, we tried to do this and nobody would notice. It wants everyone to notice. Is there anybody here that doesn't see that? I'm sorry, old guard, if I'm offending or insulting your intelligence. There's
and I get wrapped up in it too, you know? Because as I was explaining to Kirk in our Discord chat, it's like I have a daughter. I can't help but see the reality through the lens of a father, sort of like Billy. So I get really fucking riled up, especially when I saw that little white girl get murdered essentially on a train. And I'm gonna explaining what I explained to Kirk. It's like I'm teaching my daughter that if you go into a new area, don't get on your phone, at least for, 10, 15 minutes. And, preferably don't get in your phone, you get on your phone at all unless you have to. But if especially going to like a doctor's appointment, it doesn't matter. No matter where you're going, stay off your phone. Keep an eye on your surroundings, and keeping an eye on your surroundings doesn't mean doing this. It just means that just be aware. Like if you go to a doctor's office, stay off your phone, just sit there quietly for a while. Get used to the ambience of the room, get used to the surroundings, get used to the default, let's say the default setting in the room, right? Like when I'm reading people, quote unquote, I try to get a beat on their default kind of neutral behavior before I start recognizing nuances and all that. And I do this all automatically. You got to do this when you're dealing with people in a public setting, okay? And like in a doctor's office, for instance, if a new person comes in, just make a note, someone new came in. If are they up to no good or not up to no good? 99.999% of the time it's going to be fine, right? But there's going to be that 0.1% chance or whatever that something crazy happens, right? So I tell her, it's like someone new comes in, or if you hear people having a conversation, listen to their conversation for a little bit, get a beat on what they're talking about, just to be sure that they're up to no good or not up to no good or whatever. It's that simple, okay? The thing is, this is the problem with a lot of dumbasses in the world, is that they're used to being like this all the time, right? Got their phone, looking at their phone all the time. Everywhere they go, okay? And that's a problem. This stupid idiot woman, fucking God rest her soul if she was a real person and it wasn't a fake story. Like, she's dead now because she didn't pay attention to surroundings. Supposedly she was some BLM supporter as well. It's like, a fucking course she was. But again, probably like Kirk said, more fake stories, more fake narratives. Just fucking bullshit, man. And I do get fired up because I do have a daughter who's going to be perceived as a white girl despite having a Hispanic father, all right? She's not learning about her Hispanic side because I told her it doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter, and it shouldn't matter. But like I said, we're living in a world where everybody sees color. Well, not everybody, but most people, 99.999% of people see color, and they see culture, and they see race, and they think that's the most important thing in the fucking world. I don't know, man. But like I said, my daughter, she's going to be perceived by others as a white girl, a white woman when she grows up, okay? And that's why I kind of get charged up a little bit. Because I know we're living in a world right now where whites are being treated very, very unfairly. Just by low IQ idiots, man. Just fucking 70, 80 IQ dingbats. Who the only thing that matters to them is their stupid little culture and the stupid little fucking skin tone. It's fucking ridiculous, dude.